They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Seatin here. Hello and welcome to an exclusive first look at the new Cleric support soul. So for those of you who may not know what a support soul is or not be familiar with one, what a support soul does is it provides essential buffs to the raiding party, it provides debuffs to the enemies, and usually helps a bit with the healing and also provides damage increasing cooldowns. Now currently there are 3 souls in Rift that are considered support souls. You have the Bard, the Archon and the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster and Archon provide exactly the same buffs, whereas the Bard currently provides a unique set of buffs. What the Oracle does is give you an alternative to Bard, which is slightly different, and at the moment via testing is actually a fair bit better than Bard. So it provides the same buffs but does more damage, and instead of the healing that Bard provides, Oracle provides absorption shields, so that is a lot more valued than healing normally. So in regards to buffs, the Oracles have 2 kind of different ways that they provide their buffs to the party members, and I'm going to sort of talk about it in a way that kind of mirrors Bard. So the first things you have are boons, which increase health and endurance and sort of dexterity, intelligence and strength and wisdom, and these are buffs that last for an hour, and essentially these buffs just mirror the fanfares that the Bard has. Now the second type of buff is called an inspiration. Now before combat, what the Cleric does is they click these buffs to get them up, and these don't have any time limit, they're pretty much always on the Cleric, so you only have to click them once, and what happens is these are actually not triggered until you're actually in combat. Casting any Oracle ability that's named Insignia of something will trigger these buffs, and pretty much like half the Oracle abilities are listed as an insignia, so literally these will be constantly refreshed, so you won't have to worry about keeping them up. So they're kind of mirroring motifs that the Bard has. So the 3 inspirations, one of them is Inspiration in Battle, which increases spell power and critical hit chance on all party and raid members. You have Inspiration of the Keep, which reduces damage taken by 5% on all party and raid members, and finally you have Inspiration of Survival. Now, this is slightly different to the motif of restoration, because what the Bard motif does is heal you, but as I said earlier, what Oracle does is it mirrors Bard, but instead of healing, they're shielding, so you have something called Inspiration of Survival. So what Inspiration of Survival does is it buffs all party or raid members, absorbing 10% of incoming damage for 20 seconds, and this kind of has a maximum cap, which depends scales off your spell power basically. With my cap it's about 1200, but since this is being constantly refreshed, it's kind of like a 10% damage reduction buffer on the entire raid the full time, which kind of rears Oracle ahead fairly significantly. So aside from that ability, which is fairly constantly up, the Oracle also has 3 other abilities that provide a shield to the raid, and you can negate damage in various ways. So the first of these is Insignia of Protection. So this is a debuff that you can put on a target, and whenever a player hits that target, they have a 15% chance to get a 2k shield. However, an ally cannot be affected by the shield more than once every 10 seconds, so they're only going to get like a 2k shield once every probably like 15 seconds or so. The second way, which you may have noticed me spamming, well not really spamming, but using quite a bit in this video, is the world's most awesome ability called Discerning Wave, and it basically just makes a massive wave emanate from your character, and not only does this wave deal damage, but it also shields everybody that it hits for about, well, 2 to 3k in my gear, and it's just like, it's awesome. It's such a satisfying ability to let off. It deals so much damage and also gives everyone that's hit by a shield, so that kind of also adds a further skill element to the Oracle. You kind of have to position yourself so you can hit the targets, and also ideally as many players possible with this Discerning Wave. And I just love it so much, and I cannot wait for that ability to hit live. Now, the final Absorb ability, which was also sort of a big damage increasing cooldown, and this ability kind of mirrors the Bard ability Orchestra of the Plains, but instead of doing the healing the Orchestra does, this does the shielding. So this ability is called Defend the Fallen, and it applies a shield to up to 10 allies each second, absorbing 2k damage and increasing the damage of all party or raid members by 15%. So basically this kind of spam shields your raid for 2k every second over the course of 15 seconds. So that's going to be a really good cooldown to use for like very big AoE stages like, for example, Crucia, Orbital Strike. That's going to be absolute gold. And, you know, if there is other fights like Volan when you're cleansing, and there is just, you know, so much opportunity for this, and it's going to be a really, really good ability to use. I can see it coming in handy like everywhere. Now, another really cool thing that sort of the Oracle has over the Bard, the Oracle just has so much stuff kind of better than the Bards. So at the moment, unless Bard is getting some serious love in the near future, it looks like Oracle may surpass it in pretty much every scenario that I can think of off the top of my head. So it looks like Bards are unfortunately going to become fairly obsolete at the moment. However, guys, this is the PTS. Everything and anything is subject to change, so abilities could be removed, stuff could be completely revamped and changed, so we're going to have to see. So the next ability that I was going to go on about was an ability called Cleansing Chant, which is an AoE dispel, but it's not just one AoE dispel, it's a double AoE dispel. So basically, Cleansing Chant removes one cursed disease or poison from up to 10 party or raid members around the ally every 3 seconds for 3 seconds. So basically it cleanses once, and then after 3 seconds it cleanses again, which is going to make this spec very awesome for fights like the second boss in Grim Awakening, or Dreadlord Golok in Endless Eclipse, or even Regulos. You know, the AoE Dispel could come in handy as an additional top-up on some of the tanks, so it's going to be pretty dominating and very handy in those various scenarios. Now, in regards to debuffs that the Oracle has, they have a total of 3, which is Corroded Defense, and that's kind of like your standard Illuminate, so it causes the enemy to take a bit of additional damage when hit. You have Curse of Consumption and Curse of Fatality, which increase physical damage and magical damage taken. However, the cool things about these two are they only last 30 seconds, which is slightly frustrating, but when you apply them on an enemy, they apply to all nearby enemies as well, and stay on the nearby enemies as long as the main enemy that you applied it to is nearby. So that is pretty awesome. It just means that you can quickly AoE debuff large groups of mobs, and just makes it very easy and quick to do that. Something I don't make too much use of in the video are these various things called emblems. Now basically emblems are kind of like spells that you cast, so once you cast that spell you get some sort of buff or benefit given to your next spell. There's one that reduces cast time, there's one that gives you a flat out damage increase, and there's one that provides a small dot. However, I've not found a proper way to utilize these yet. Now guys, one thing I really want to stress is, like, I have not mastered Oracle in any way, shape or form yet, so like the gameplay that you're seeing at the moment, it's not ideal. It's kind of like me just, you know, fucking about with the spec, my first look, my first impressions, what I've picked up, a brief overview of stuff, and just some very general basic information. So that pretty much concludes it for the video, guys. I'm not going to talk too much about all the abilities in depth. There are a few more to cover, and I haven't really even begun to touch on the DPS rotation yet, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got a quick look at the Oracle, see how awesome and enjoyable it is to play, really. I really can't wait for this spec to go live. It's not only going to be enjoyable and awesome to play, it's going to be very, very useful in a lot of raids. So thank you once again for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, share, tweet, I don't know, whatever you guys do to like promote videos. Thanks for watching and take care.